his fangs sinking into my... Hey internet, it's Jessica, and welcome back to Red Embrace Hollywood. So, we got our next mission from Sherez. We're supposed to meet with her, so let's see what happens. The cold crawled over my skin. An icy wind brushed past me like something out of a frozen wasteland instead of California. I shuddered, curling my arms around myself reflexively. How long had I been waiting? It felt like days, even weeks. Maybe even my whole life. Why does this seem so ominous already? Like, what the hell? I drifted further into the sky, pulled along by some unforeseen force. My feet dangled in empty air, but I wasn't falling. Far, far below me, the city flickered endlessly, frigid and beautiful as a snow globe. But I've never seen it like this before. So small and fragile. It always looked this way. A voice resonated in my ears. Oh! Markus? What's he doing here? Beside me, Markus gazed wistfully into the distance, down at the veiled city. This is where we stand remote, yet tethered, unable to descend or escape. This is hell of our own making. His words had lost their accent, and instead seemed to echo in my mind. In my own voice. Is this a dream? Here's the thing. Am I dreaming, or is he, like, in my head? Because remember, we're Golgotha. So we have special kinds of powers. I don't know if like, entering someone's dream is something a part of that, but I'm gonna say it's lonely, isn't it? He stiffly nodded, although his smile didn't seem self-pitying. One grows used to it. The deathly silence have no desires, no herd, no self. Still, on some old cold nights, the solitude becomes too much to bear. Another frozen gust of wind blew past us, ruffling through Markus's hair. But after one steps back onto the streets, breathing in the fields, drowning in the lingering shadow of a long-dead god, loneliness no longer seems so terrible after all. Okay? With a long, deep inhale, he slowly turned to face me. No lenses obscured his face, and he seemed much more vulnerable, or maybe like an entirely different person. Different yet unnervingly similar, like the second side of a coin. If I could explain all this more clearly to you, Bella, I would do so. But the subconscious has no language. You must try to understand it with your own subconscious, without words or logic. A hint of frustration furrowed Markus's eyebrows. Don't force yourself to think, for thinking always comes in words, and thinking is meant to communicate, not to understand. Why does he do this? Why does he always speak in riddles? Why? Even if this is a dream, he's still doing it. How can I not think? I already understand, but I get what you're saying. When you talk, it's meant to be communication, not really understanding. It's the afterthought afterwards that you kind of understand, right? So I kind of get it. That may be so, but be careful not to hold it too tightly. For dreams are like tides on the beach, receding into the ocean after they wash your feet. Markus slowly reached his arms out to me. His cold palms pressed into my temples, and I had nowhere to look except his unblinking eyes. If only I could keep you in this place with me forever, Bella, but I cannot. I can throw you a rope, but you will have to climb back here through your own will. But where is here? Why can't you keep me here? I'll find a way back soon. I would think like we would be capable to come back here because again, Golgotha, we have the ability to have extraordinary powers as vampires, more than the average vampire, so I like to think that I'll find my way back. I know you can. But will you? It looked as almost as if he wanted to laugh, like he found an innocent, nonsensical humor in all of this. Not a cruel laugh, but a carefree one. There's one thing I can show you. Something you haven't witnessed. Long bony fingers slipped between my own, grasping them loosely. Then, with his free hand, Markus pointed out to the distant street below us. Then up into the infinite sky. Which way would you like to go? There's no right or wrong answer. Honestly, I would rather go up. That's just me though, because I like looking at the stars and stuff like that, but it kind of like, is this an interpretation of like how Golgotha vampires are always in their head? Or are they grounded? You know what I'm saying? Is that what he's testing me on? Because if, all honesty, I would pick higher, but I don't know if he means like, am I going to be stuck in my head or am I actually going to be in reality? Okay, let me say higher. Markus nodded. If he had wanted or expected a different answer, he showed no sign of it. What happened? Did I answer wrong? I feel like I answered wrong. Higher up, the city started to look more abstract. In a sea of pure black, dots of golden light roamed the straight paths, flickering in and out of existence. I felt like I was in space, like an alien looking down at the tiny insects. Soon, even those dots disappeared. All that I left was a silent void, until a voice called out. It was someone else's voice. They don't deserve it. They don't want it. A voice that sounded strangely familiar, and that sound countered buzzing flies. Every day I look around me, and every day I'm disgusted by what I see. But when I look in the mirror, what I see there disgusts me more than anything else. I am the destroyer which you want so badly. And you will take responsibility for making me. What? I blinked. In my hand, the cup felt warm, giving me off steam and sweet, gentle fragrance. The bar seemed entirely empty. There was probably some kind of event going on, but I wasn't invited, or did I want to go? Have you ever lucid dreamed? Who said that? Oh, it's Mark. Wait, so was I... Where am I? How am I in a bar? What the hell? Markus grinned at me from across the table. His words seemed to be entering my mind directly, lacking their usual accent or inflection. It's such a peculiar feeling, really. Like being a god in your own headspace, where anything you will become reality. Or maybe it's like being a powerless god trapped by a world of limitless potential. Never lucid dreamed before. Why a powerless god? This tea's really good. Hey, this tea's really good. A powerless god? I guess it's kind of true, because in your dreams, there's so many infinite things happen in there, like unrealistic things majority of the time, and it's very rare where we get the chance to control them, especially if they're lucid dreams. We don't. We're a god in our dreams, but we can't control what's going on. But I'm gonna talk about the tea, so it is, isn't it? He took a sip from his own cup, exhaling a contented sigh. Strange how delicious something can be after you've forgotten its taste. Nothing sweeter than distant memory. Unlike earlier, Markus sounded much more lighthearted, his telepathic voice my own ringing with playfulness. It echoed in my ears before the soft, muted trip-trop playing over the bar's loudspeakers. I wonder what it would be like to always live inside a lucid dream. With a soft sigh, he gazed thoroughly at me from across the booth. Why do we come to this bar? Are we on a date, by the way? Hey, are we dating? Or, like, why are we here? I was thinking more of an interlude, a little break from all this heavy symbolism. He smirked dryly, folding a paper napkin in his hands. But I suppose it could be a date. Hey, I'll take it if it's supposed to be like a date, somewhat. Do you want it to be? That'd be nice. Yes. Alright. I'm not gonna make you pay the bill, but I'm not gonna be paying either. This isn't so here to cash my $50 anyway. Why, where are we exactly? I turned my head to follow his gaze towards the empty bar. There was something bittersweet and nostalgic about it, like painting a frozen time. But when I turned back around... all that stood before me was empty whiteness. An inescapable, blinding whiteness. Like a spotlight shining right in my eyes. What is going on right now? What is this? Why am I here? Strange voice echoed around me. I couldn't recognize or fully distinguish it, like I was listening to a radio station filled with too much static. Well, if I had to hazard a guess, it seems a thread still connects to you, Bella. A thread? Someone's connected to me. Who? A thread? Yeah, certainly one of those poetic threads of fate. Is that... Are you really her? The figure seemed to be staring at me, although there wasn't any features on its silhouette. The one and only, or should I say the many. But maybe we should head to a familiar place for all of us. What is going on? He opened the door for me and I found myself stepping inside. Into the club, right next to the bar. I was back where it all started. Wait and see what happens, run towards the exit, do something. No, let's see what happens, I'm actually curious. I knew I couldn't run away, everything had already happened before. But what if something was different this time? Is that the vampire who was supposed to be bit? Is that what they're trying to tell me? I stood at the bar watching all the faceless bodies dance and shudder to the silent music. My eyes fell to the rich, sweet drink in my hand, which only was missing a single sip. And then, when I forced my gaze back up... Bella. What? The next moment I found myself walking towards the bathrooms. A hand had slipped into mine, leading me along. But something was different. What is happening? My back was pressed against the wall and long fingers pulled in my hair. These memories belong to you, Bella, not to me. The cold touch of Markus's fangs grazed on my throat, light and delicate. The first trinity may be 3 of us you've met, but the more important one is you, me, and him. What? As those little words rumbled in his throat, my eyes squeezed shut on their own accord. The next moment I felt his fangs sinking into my... you know, we already got bit, so like, we don't need to repeat that. Instead of sharp pain that I've been expecting, something cold and dry covered my mouth. Woohoo! There we go! I got the kiss from Markus! Even though technically this is a dream and it's not real, so did I actually get his kiss? But hey, I'll take it, whatever. Markus had lowered his head, leaning in for a sudden kiss. It was clumsy, rough, uncertain, and at any moment I thought he'd pull away. Stay still. Press forward harder. Let's do that. When I pressed my lips more firmly against his, Markus recoiled a little. After a brief pause, he hesitantly leaned in again, but only enough to keep the delicate contact between us. Wait, is he like not sure about this? I know it's a dream, but like he's not sure about this. Each kiss was oddly stiff, a wary, intense, and fair animal approaching a human. From the way Markus was acting, it almost seemed more terrifying to him than spreading his own ribcage for open heart surgery. But he didn't draw back. Slowly, steadily, he let the tip of his tongue trace against mine. Oh, okay, cool. We're getting tongue action? And for a split second, I felt his body shudder. So he doesn't want to do this. Or he's more... Again, this is the problem with Markus. He's not getting close to anyone. Regardless of romantic relationship, I mean friends in general, he doesn't get close to anyone. So this must be really weird for him, right? Because like, I don't know how old this guy is. He could be thousands of years old. The abattoir vanished. I felt something pull away from me, out of the cold darkness and into the light. But when my eyes finally struggled to open, I saw Los Angeles laid out before me again. I was back where I started, stranded on the rooftop, stuck between an empty sky and the city. Where I am, Bella. You begin. When I turned to look for the voice, I realized it was coming from my own mouth. I was Markus and Markus was me. There was nothing separating us. Huh? What do you mean? It had always been that way, and it was always supposed to be that way. I just never saw it. Close your eyes again. For now. As my vision blurred, the world began to slowly melt into something different. Somewhere far in the distance, I hear muffled echoes of gunshots. They rumbled and crackled like fireworks, dull but insistent, reaching me from all directions. The endless booming filled my ears, dragging on for a whole eternity, So, we're connected? But, like, why? I get it, we're the same type of vampire, but, like, why, though? You know what I mean? And the world faded into nothingness. I bolted upright. My bed. My room. Everything looked normal. Bella! I heard a soft gasp beside me, unexpected enough to make me jolt. What the hell is Heath doing here? Does anyone knock in this place? You're awake, what a relief. Heath, who had been sitting on the floor, rose up to kneel beside my bed. We were starting to get a little worried. Why are you here? Sherez wanted someone to watch over you, so I volunteered. He blinked at me, his brow knitting in concern. You disappeared earlier this evening. No one saw you go out, but when Sherez sent me to check on you, you weren't inside your room. Went searching for you and nobody could find you anywhere. And then, about an hour ago, I came back to check your room again and you were right here in your bed, sound asleep. Did you find a way to sneak out? Were we dreaming then? Or were we in a trance? Because I know Markus took us, but like, what? I didn't go anywhere. I must have been sleepwalking. Definitely didn't leave. I have no idea, Heath. I just remember how... Okay, but I didn't go anywhere. My reply seemed to shock Heath. Once his initial disbelief faded, he studied my face intently, his eyes searching mine. Well, if you were in your bed all night, you've got to teach me your hiding skills. I searched all over your room after you vanished, but you hadn't left a single trace. Maybe I really left the hotel. You didn't see Markus around. Do I have to cover for Markus? See, that's the thing again. Like, I love him. Don't get me wrong. I freaking love him because he's so weird. But like, I'm still on the thing about like, I don't know if I can trust him enough. Yeah, because like, it's weird. Every character who's interacted with Markus does trust him to a degree, but at the same time they don't. And I kind of feel the same way too. So I don't know if I out Markus or not. Should I mention Markus? Because Heath doesn't like Markus either, so... did I do anything weird while I was asleep? I'm sure you didn't, but if you did, the papers will be very interesting tomorrow, I'm sure. Well, you should go back to sleep if you can. He took a step back, brushing a hand through his pale hair. The sun's almost gonna come up. You were out the whole night. Well, I'll take extra rest. I can't believe I wasted a whole night. I'll take extra rest. I want to say thanks, though. Thanks. Of course, I'm happy you're alright, Bella. His voice seemed to carry a touch of wistfulness, but he smiled sweetly at me anyway. Sleep well, and stay safe on any mystery adventures. I mean, this is weird. Reaching for a cigarette, Heath made his way to the door, quietly closing it behind him. What he must have been accurate, because my body felt tired again, as if I'd traveled a long distance. And so, without protest, I sank back into another deep slumber. This time, without a single dream. That's really weird. So we just had a freaking trip, lucid dream with Markus, making out with him, and then there's someone else in the dream too. There's a third person in that. I don't know who that is, but when I woke again, there was no sight of a message from Sherez. Nothing from Markus either. Just the aftershock of that bizarre dream lingering in my head. For once then, I had a completely free night. Still, despite my immortal lifespan, I felt like I probably shouldn't be lazing around in bed or watching the entire VHS collection of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at that. For some reason, I was tucked into my TV cabinet. I mean, it's not a bad show, so... Instead of something much more stronger was tempting me. A meeting with the Golgotha leader. The master, who the man mentioned the father of secrets I had in my dream. I felt a strange insistent pull towards him, towards the cemetery. It was like an unforeseen tangling with my own. My gut feeling told me that I'd be safe, but he really wanted to kill me or capture me. I'd already given him plenty of chances. But before I went to meet him, I needed to feed again. Venturing somewhere potentially dangerous without fresh blood seemed to be a bad idea. Oh yeah, that's right, I can drink from Alusha. Or we can drink the maybe we should go to her? I just want to see what happens. Picking up the phone, I dialed Alusha's number. And sure enough, she answered after a few rings. When I asked her to come over, she happily agreed, and about 10 minutes later, oh my, someone has a fancy room. I should come and lounge over here more often. It's pretty nice having a housewarming and room service, I won't lie. It's nice and all, I guess, but it's not exactly our house. You know what I mean? It's just a room. Well, as a girl who lives in a lot of not so nice places, I think you should consider yourself lucky. Anyway, shall we, darling? Oh, and if you don't mind, could you lay me down and rest a bit afterwards? I'm sure you have things to do, but I'll leave as soon as the wooziness wears off. Taking Alusha into my arms, I leaned down and bite into the soft, rosy, perfumed skin of her neck. Her reaction was noticeably different from David's, more muted and subtle, as if being fed on didn't slice the same mindless bliss in her. Still, she let out a warm sigh, slowly going limp against me as her eyes fluttered shut. Okay, I mean, like, I guess this is a better option than going out and biting some random ass guy who doesn't want to be bit, so... Once I had my fill, I set Lucia, mostly unconscious body, onto the bed like she asked. She seemed to be snoring lightly, so I decided to leave her and go into my business. Because Holyfield Cemetery was a little too far to walk, I hailed a cab and settled down in my seat, gazing out at the distant moon. Living in a graveyard was an interesting choice for even a vampire. The irony had to be deliberate. It shouldn't be that strange since we were all dead, clinically speaking, but most vampires didn't seem to flaunt that fact. Yeah, I mean, it is ironic, like, going to a graveyard, technically dead, but not really. The entrance to the cemetery almost looked like it belonged to a mansion. I reached out teasingly, pushing the elegant towered iron gates, wondering if they were locked. But they loudly cranked open, and the first hint of my touch, all too eager to beckon me inside. Okay. With some hesitation, I stepped to the little path that wound through the maze of graves. It was dark, almost unnaturally dark, and a thin mist curled sluggishly among the headstones. I couldn't deny the cemetery's haunting beauty. The watchful statues, the towering trees, the rigid lamps, and the cast eerie sheen on whatever they struck. Everything seemed preserved in time. Far in the distance, I saw the city lights glowing brightly, like electric fireflies drifting through the darkness. My eyes fell from glittering skyscrapers down to the cold, gray tombstones surrounding me. The atmosphere of the graves like this made me feel nervous, intrigued, enthralled, nothing. I mean, graveyards make me uncomfortable, so I'm gonna say nervous. I shuddered reflexively. The way the lights gently flickered, the wind whispering through the trees, the smooth gray staring at me from every direction. It filled me with a gnawing anxiety. If my heart had been able to beat, it would have almost burst in my chest. And now I knew the dead could still walk. I had to wonder what else was out there in the night. Because I had a feeling I wasn't alone. Followed the path, I head deeper into the graveyard, forcing myself to stay on high alert. Everyone seemed either terrified of this man or reluctant to even speak his name. Considering the power and confidence of most vampires I've met so far, that was no small feat. But afterwards, wandering around several minutes, I couldn't find anyone. Maybe I missed him? Or Zhang had pulled some kind of prank on me? There wasn't exactly a doorbell I could ring either. Suddenly, I sensed the presence of someone nearby. Like Markus, had abruptly appeared instead of slowly growing closer. My eyes darted around trying to spot the source, but I couldn't detect where they were. Until I glanced behind a mausoleum. There, a lone statuesque figure stood with his back to me, gazing up at the moon. The instant I saw him, I knew who he was, the man from my dream. Something about his presence was incredibly calm and controlled, almost too calm, completely unlike any other human or vampire I'd met. I'm not gonna say, are you the father of secrets? Is that weird? Would he be hanging out like, hey, I'm gonna look at the moon, even though I'm like all powerful and stuff? I don't know. I stayed silent, staring at the tall silhouette. But I had already given myself away. The man turned to face me, gaze flicking directly towards where I stood, as if he had known I was there all along. Whoa! 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 He looks cool. He looks like he came out of the Matrix. Anyway, his eyes dimly glowed like two beacons in the dark, casting a pale golden sheen onto my face. The figure took a few steps towards me. Maybe the wind drowned them out, but I could have sworn his footsteps in the grass were silent. Hi! He stepped a small distance away, gazing up at me and down to lift curiosity. At last, with a soft inhale, he suddenly nodded, maybe to himself more than to me. Welcome to my residence, Bella. I hope its unorthodox nature does not cause you undue distress. He spoke in a quiet, near monotone, his deep voice oddly soothing. I am Andre Sebek. It's somewhat a tradition for young Golgotha here to address me respectfully as master. Oh, is this actually him? But I shall leave that decision to you. Let's out of respect, because I don't want him to kill me, let's just call him master. The corners of his mouth curled faintly upward at my reply, yet it didn't seem to quite like a smile. It appears my message was delivered. I'm pleased you decided to acknowledge it. Only on rare occasions do I send personal greetings to Los Angeles' latest introductions, but for you, I chose to make an exception. We see the same strange things, don't we, Matt? I don't want to say that because, I don't. This is the leader of my house. I don't want to piss him off. Oh, can I ask why? The glow in Andre's eyes flickered for less than a second, like a lamp brushed by a poltergeist. There are, on occasions, individuals of unique potential and circumstances who are noteworthy enough to attract my interest. A few vampires have been turned into Los Angeles in the past several years and have managed to survive. Yet you appear to flourish, as a nonsense you are in your development. I feel as though you hold great promise. That's kind of what Markus said to us too. So, I see, you have taken to our gifts well, nurturing them. You will find every door in the world lies open before you. He smiled softly at me, if not kindly. I am aware you are employed by Sherez Locke, the Sakari leader of the Regents of Los Angeles. Her mythology ruling is disagreeable to me. That is why I see her subverted, and why I rally others against her. But she is a formidable opponent. While the Mavar seek to fight her in the streets, Locke and I battle in the shadows, duel of assassins and spies. Wait, is he the guy sending the assassins to kill her vampires? Oh, that's bad. Isn't that bad? That's bad. A faint, insidious smile spread across his lips, not quite reaching his eyes. However, as of late, she has begun losing her ground to me. I believe that is why, in her desperation, she seeks to mold you into a suitable weapon. Mold me? You think I'm just old cheese to her? I won't fit into any mold. That might be true, but I have faith in Sherez and her cause. I'm just doing what I have to. My situation isn't exactly flexible. It's between these two, but in all honesty, she kind of has us in her grip. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really have a way out. There is nothing one is forced to do, save for abiding by the natural laws of the universe. Beyond those laws, your will is entirely your own. You are merely deceiving yourself into seeing another will as an impossible barrier, when in reality it is nothing but a circle of a thread onto the floor ground around you. What? Such a barrier exists solely because you believe it does. I mean, I guess that's true. His quiet, calm voice drifted into silence. Andre turned his gaze towards the moon. The time for an end to this conflict swiftly approaches, Bella. Either a new ruler will establish domain over the Los Angeles Coven, or else we shall descend into anarchy, the beginning of an inevitable end of our kind. He sounded remarkably placid for the dramatic statement. Even when I studied his face, I couldn't see any visible traces of emotion. My assistants serve as my eyes and ears, unseen and unheard, absorbing all that would be hidden as they move along the dead. But with the current tension between the houses, their range is limited. Andre fell purposely silent, allowing his thin smile to finish his implication. Are you asking me to be your spy? Well, maybe I could help with that, Master. Obviously, you're implying that, hey, you can spy for me because everyone likes you. Such an agreement may be a mutual benefit to us, I believe. Unlike your arrangement with the Isakari, in my employ, you'll be treated fairly and with due respect. Join me, and I can promise you an alleviated seat in the new government I intend to establish. New government? What does that mean? Then it's decided that I'll be in allegiance. Alright, I'm interested in working together. Thanks for the offer, but I can't join you. I don't know what your new government entails. Like, I don't know exactly what the Golgotha want. Forgive me, but I cannot disclose the entirety of my designs while you're still in locked services. I will, however, inform you on our ambitions are entirely different. She desires to maintain a status quo of secrecy and status, while I wish for our kind to reach certain understanding with mortals. Oh! He wants us to be known. I mean, they already know, but you know what I mean, like, out in the open. It is inevitable that, as technology advances, vampires one day will be exposed. I seek to prevent that unfortunate circumstance that will arise from such a scenario. Does that provide you with more insight? I mean, I get it. I actually do get it. It's just like, how would this turn out? Because, like, out of every race, no matter if it's fiction or non-fiction, the human race is the worst one, is the worst kind. So, like, yeah, there's obviously going to be people who are going to be like, oh yeah, we get it, like, you're just another creature, they're not going to harm us, but other people are going to see us as a threat, and they'll try to wipe us out. Excellent. I hope it assists you in making your decision. Do I have to give you an answer now? Do I have to give you an answer now? I'm afraid so. It is a sudden decision, so I understand your trepidation, but I would ask that you follow your instincts in this regard. To those hearts and minds are prone to wavering often more unreliable allies. Then it's decided I'll play your allegiance. Oh man. I mean, I kind of like him better than Sherez, even though I don't know him. I don't know, Sherez kind of rubs me the wrong way, I'm not gonna lie, because she's very threatening. This guy could be threatening after I agree. You don't know. He could be nice right now, and then after I agree, he's gonna be like, well, you're my slave now, I'm gonna make you do whatever. I don't want to say I'm going to pledge, I'll just say I'm interested in working with you. It's the middle ground. Excellent, I am pleased to hear your decision. You may be relieved to hear that I require little from you at this stage, and frequent reports should suffice. However, I ask that you continue to endure Locke's request for a short while longer. Your ambiguous affiliation will serve as pass around Los Angeles with little risk of harm, for now that is. When the time comes for you to break her, it'll be apparent. You're right, I'll deal with her until then. I wish I could break from her right now. No, let's be careful, I don't want to die. I truly sympathize with your plight, young Golgotha. We have all been forced to endure unsavory situations for the sake of our future progress, as the gears of advancements are only turned through suffering. He inclined his head sincerely, though his eyes never shifted from his face. I believe that concludes our business for tonight, as I must attend several arrangements. However, please visit me again at your earliest convenience. There's a great deal for more of us to discuss. After Andre's polite dismissal, I left the mausoleum behind, heading back down to the empty path. All the way back to the graveyard's entrance, I couldn't shake the feeling of presence surrounding me, but they were too muddled to really identify. Someone's watching me. I don't think Sherez is dumb. Do you think she has me followed? Because I think she kind of does. Luckily, I managed to catch a passing taxi not far from the cemetery. By the time we drove back to Hollywood, sunrise was still several hours away. Something about the graveyard has left me feeling restless, so I decided to pay a visit somewhere. Hey, let's go to Markus! Because I need to talk to him! What the hell was that in my dream? I asked the taxi driver to bring me over to Blood and Roses, and as soon as he pulled up outside the shop, but the sign in the window read closed, and all the lights were off inside. What? It seemed like Markus wasn't around tonight. Huh? Why is he not there? Alright, I'm back from my adventure. Didn't really find anyone. Everyone is unavailable except for Randall. He was just pissed off about what? Markus did at the beach house, like the party, but he still likes him, but he's just mad at him. I ended my night there, with a sense of uncertainty lurking in the back of my mind. When I curled up and closed my eyes, I felt like I could see Andre's glowing gaze, his low voice resonating like a double bass. "The time for an end to this conflict swiftly approaches," he said. The ominous words circled through my thoughts and drifted into the light of restless sleep. I really want to ask Markus, what he was doing, though. That's my problem. But just as I finally falling into deeper rest... Oh, great. The phone jolted me back awake. I'll answer it, because I'm probably going to keep calling anyway. Rubbing my eyes, I reached out to grab the receiver. Hello? What do you want? Nonsense. Why am I certain this is the president's personal number? You won't be fooling me twice, William, you rogue. Oh dear, I suppose I must have misplaced a few digits. Why, hello, Bella. Marcus's deep voice purred over the line. Finally, where have you been? Jesus. Would he talk about it, though? Dream. I'm not privy to any of your dreams, unfortunately, Bella. As fascinating as I'm sure they are. But you took me somewhere, didn't you? You're not fooling me. Oh, that's strange. But you took me, didn't you? I wasn't in my room. Goodness, are you calling me a kidnapper now? I'm afraid I don't quite understand, sister. You believe I gave you a dream? Yes, you showed me all these things. Yes, then I disappeared in my room when I was falling asleep. You mean you didn't? Is he lying? Again, because he speaks in riddles, so I don't know if he's telling the truth. Let's ask this, because I disappeared in my sleep. Are you accusing me of being Houdini too now? He sounded genuinely puzzled, although it might have been the skillful act. If what you saw was indeed a dream, perhaps I had forgotten it, as most dreams are forgotten. Well, we'll discuss it at some point, no doubt, but tonight I called you to interrupt your dreams, not give you any. In fact, I have an invitation for you. I thought we might go to a grand sweeping adventure tomorrow. Ferry your fine self over to my shop around, 9 o'clock or so. A grand adventure? Should I ask what's going to be involved? Most invitation require invitee to accept, I mean, I like adventures, but I don't know where we're going. Are we gonna get killed in a car accident again, or what? That's what they all say until they end up like one of mine. His delighted chuckle echoed over the line. In the background of the call, I thought I could faintly hear the crackle of the TV channel. Then I'll be seeing you ere long, Bella. Oh, and should you stumble upon Dream Markus again, do remind him of the $5 he owes me, that rascal, my goodness. Okay? After the call ended, I tried to settle back to sleep, but I couldn't sink into anything more than a restless snooze. By the time the sun finally slipped down over the horizon, I felt more tired than refreshed, but staying in my bed probably wouldn't achieve anything except being a fussy Markus. After adjusting myself, I left the lobby hotel and discreetly as I could, wandering a few blocks away to catch a taxi. After the incident, Sherez probably wouldn't be too thrilled about me visiting Markus, so it was worth the extra effort to be a little more secretive. I mean, yeah, I kinda want to be careful, As my driver cruised towards the shop, I gazed out into the sparkling night. Getting my hosted was a bad idea, but maybe Markus would explain a little more about the dream in person. More than likely, though, I just leave more questions than answers, like always. That's true, because he's gonna say his, riddles and then act like I know what the hell he's talking about. The taxi dropped me off right outside Blood and Roses, zooming off as soon as I stepped out. But as I approached the shop door, it suddenly flung open. Wow, what a joke! Really sad, isn't it? Several vampires stepped out, laughing loudly. I could instantly tell they were Mavar, although something about them felt different. They didn't seem to notice me, counting down the sidewalk while they chuckled to themselves. As I watched them walk away, an uncomfortable knot tied itself in my stomach. Something was wrong. What? What is wrong? Hurrying up to the door, I pushed my way through. The moment I stepped inside the shop, an acidic smell burned my senses. My eyes darted back and forth, searching for Markus. What'd they do? I sensed him here, but where? Just as I was starting to wonder if he left, I noticed something on the ground behind the shelf. What the? What did they do to him? Is he dead? Markus lay there silently staring up at the ceiling. A dark pool of blood had formed around his head, soaking into the carpet. Markus, are you okay? Can we check his wounds? I quickly dropped down to my knees, analyzing Markus's injuries. Deep gashes were cut into his arms and face, spilling a constant stream of red. His wounds were sealing over, but slowly. They must have been from the Mavar's claws. Can I get help? Shh. Groaning softly, Markus brought a finger to his lips. Then a wet, painful cough had reached out for my hand, holding it in his weak grasp. I can see it again. I can see it so clearly. His voice was soft and full of relief, just like his blissful smile. Such a pretty day, so many people here. What a happy ending. So warm feeling like this. Just talking about something in the news in love. All of us blessed. A long sigh made his chest gently rise and fall. Even though his injuries were mending themselves, he had already lost a huge amount of blood. Yo, we gotta bind his wounds, what the f***? Grabbing my shirt, I tore off a long strip on the side. But when I reached out to bind the gashes on Marcus's arms... No. He grabbed my hand again, gently pushing it back down. It's so quiet and calm, Bella, like the bottom of the ocean. Wouldn't it be so nice to stay there, together? He squeezed my hand, gazing at me with cadaver eyes. Just a warm summer day, not a trace of suffering, and love everywhere. Nothing strange, and nothing sad. The last words left his lips a little more than a longing sigh. No! I did! This is the thing, like, I get where he's coming from, because again, he's lived a long-ass life, he doesn't want to keep... I imagine he wouldn't want to be a vampire anymore, but, like, what he's seeing is, like, he's dying. That's basically what he's seeing, right? Yo, you lost too much blood! Please don't! It isn't detriment. It's right there, all around us. Marcus shook his head in anguish, his voice crackling. I saw it once on TV. I can see it even better with your eyes shut. Wait, come back, Marcus. You don't belong there. There's so much left for us to do together. I'm gonna bind your injuries. You're not dying on me. Hey, let's hang out together still. How about that? Marcus slowly firmly shook his head. There was something horribly wrong with the look on his face. Let me... out of here. Suddenly, his eyes flew open. They stared directly at me, widened in horror and revulsion. What is this? Have you always been... What? His body roughly jerked and shuddered. What happened? Painfully gasping tore out of his mouth, and Worth on the floor, convulsing. Curling on the fetal position, Marcus gritted his teeth together, staring at pure terror with something invisible. Okay, run over to the phone. There was no way he'd be able to answer me like this. I had to guess for one myself. Call who? I ran over to the counter, snatching up Marcus's phone. Right next to it, I spotted a yellow business pad with numbers scribbled on the lines, but I only recognized 3 names. Randall, Alicia, and Sherez. If I call Randall, his men are the one who attacked him, but I know Randall has a lot of respect for Marcus, even though he's pissed off at him. You know, he still sees him as someone value. Alicia is a friend of Marcus, but I don't know if she can exactly help because she's human. And Sherez freaking hates Marcus. I think I need to call Randall. I quickly dialed up Randall's number. He might be able to help Marcus, even if he was pissed at him before. Randall still respected him. Oh god, please pick up. Nothing, not even an answering machine. Was the line being used? Okay, damn it, let's call Sherez. Sherez is probably still furious, but she surely wouldn't let Marcus just die. I rang up her number as fast as I could, wondering how I could describe this whole situation. Hello, you've reached the office of Sherez Locke. How can I help you tonight? A nasally bored voice answered the phone, one I've never heard before. What can I do for a dying vampire? He's lost a lot of blood. I don't think I'm qualified to dispense that kind of medical advice. You must be new to our condition, but our bodies repair themselves easily unless it's extreme condition like the vampire's head or the heart being severely damaged. Just stay with the individual and I'm sure they'll be fine. Now, is there anything else I can do? Should I mention that he's having some kind of seizure? We don't suffer from seizures. I think you must be mistaken. If you have any other questions, I suggest you call back at a different time to speak with Miss Locke. Good day. Just like that, the line went dead. Then Isakari wouldn't help either. Though, if she had gone to talk to Sherez myself, she might have done something. Shh! Let's call Lucia. Lucia was a human, but she obviously cared about Marcus. Maybe, just maybe, she knew a way to help. Quickly dialed her number, wondering if the listed digits for her were, for the home or the club. Hello, darling. I need your help. I'm not at the phone right now, so if you'd like to leave a message with all the sweet nothings you'd like to say, I promise I'll always listen. Bye now! It's an answering machine. A soft beep followed the recorded words before the line sank into patient silence. Marcus has been attacked. Let me say that. Come as fast as you can, watch it for attackers. With that, I hung up. Unless she has been right by the phone, she probably wouldn't hear it in time. Where did that leave me? Let me call Randall one more time. Might be able to tell. Come on, answer. Okay, I gotta check on Markus. Randall's not gonna answer. Pushing the phone aside, I hurried back to where I left Markus. Around the corner to the shelves, I almost afraid to look at the floor. Markus was gazing at me, his face exhausted and drained, but lucid. I'm alive, Bella. His soft murmur slowly sank, like an anchor thrown to the bottom of the ocean. I think I'm alive. Don't you worry. It's gonna be alright. A cheerful voice sang out of the TV speakers. His words mingled with the tiny sound of a keyboard backed with the bouncing beat. I glanced up to see the opening of Baywatch, where a lineup of plastic grins and perfectly toned bodies flashed by. 'Cause I'm always ready. I won't let you out of my sight. As Jimmy Jameson, I'm always here, slowly faded into the background, Markus let out a quiet exhale. Is he okay? We were sitting on the floor behind the counter, leaning back against it. I'd carefully wiped the blood from Markus's injuries, which had sealed over in an almost disturbing perfection, like they'd never been there at all. But his torn shirt wasn't as skilled as mending itself, so I pulled his coat back on instead. He looked the same as he always did, only without his sunglasses. And yet, he sat beside me silently, staring off into space with a disturbed look in his eyes. I had a feeling he was far from his normal self inside. That wasn't the first time. His quiet murmur rose through the silence. There was a long pause before Markus spoke again, his voice halting and uncertain. Death has brushed by me more than over once. Death has brushed by me over and over again. I know his face well. But never has he pulled me so far down before. Just to relieve you're okay. I didn't know what happened. How did you manage to attack you? You have to be more careful, Markus. You made a lot of enemies. I don't want to say the last one. That's stupid. Yeah, I'm glad you're okay. No, did I, Bella? He opened his mouth again as if to speak, but hesitated. Our eyes met, and I could see him searching for my gaze for something more warily than I was used to. I'm kind of mad because we were supposed to go on a date today, like an adventure. What the For a few moments, I didn't want to come back. The hands had pulled me down, soft and sweet. It's so hard to struggle against it. He spread the fingers of his right hand, turning it over to stare at his bone white palm. And the words were such enticing poison, though I dare not repeat them. Then what helped you get back? Do you wish you stayed with them? I don't think does he wish he stayed with them? I don't know. I simply had this deep gnawing sensation that I wasn't supposed to sink. No physical force pulled me away, but rather a force within my mind, as if I had controlled my body, but something else controlled me. An fear shivered through his voice, something I never really heard from him. But at that moment, I thought of all I had left to accomplish, the promise of myself I still need to fulfill, the dark truths, and yet called my name. Markus' faintly whispered words sank into the silence. When I cast him a side glance, it felt like I was watching a flickering flame ready to be blown out by the wind. The silence was an uncomfortable one, so I started to offer a reply. Whoa! The sound of shattering glass made me jolt! What the hell? Markus went completely still. His gaze flicked over to meet mine, holding no emotion, only telling me not to move. Oh, Markus! Someone called his name mockingly. A moment later, I heard the door slam open. You figured we were done with you, huh? Do you really think we would leave you alive for no reason? Footsteps started to shuffle inside, heavy boots thudding onto the carpet. I thought this guy was supposed to be smart. We were waiting for Bella to get here, and she showed up right on cue. That's why they didn't acknowledge me. They wanted me to go inside. There was still nothing in Markus's eyes. He looked completely apathetic, as if he barely registered what they were saying. Looks like he wants to play a little hide and seek. Hey, why don't we just burn the whole place down? Oh yeah, I like that idea. Anyone got a lighter? Nah, he's got some candles over there. Just use those. A footstep thudded past the counter, heading towards the shelves. Let's see, why don't we start with these? They look like something a pretentious motherfucker would care about. Burn them up. With a few moments, a disgusting burning smell started to fill the air. In the back of my mind, an image of a sudden flashback. The books and sheet music tucked among Markus's shelves. Cause see, I mean, you know, the sex shop, you can have insurance for that, but all his stuff. Cause he's into poetry and music and stuff like that. Markus twitched slightly, and I thought I saw his expression briefly change, but it didn't last long. Hey, how about the thing over there? What's that? No fucking idea, just throw it in with the other Something crashed onto the ground, adding a noxious scent and the sound of crackling flames. I can't do anything, because if I stand up, they're gonna kill me. I'm not like a big ass, like, I'm a Golgotha vampire. The Golgothas use their mind, not their freaking, you know, like, brawn. They don't use their arms to fight anyone. And I think Markus wants me to stay still, because he can't defend me either. Like, he just got beat up too, so... There was nothing we could do. Maybe they'd get bored of destroying things and leave, or we could just time our escape when they weren't looking. They had to know where we were here, so they must have been taunting us. Ugh! At that moment, I suddenly heard a muffled crunching thud. I couldn't see what was from behind the counter, but it sounded like a projectile just hit something. Hey, what the f***? One of the vampires yelled in panic, followed by a split second of silence. What happened? Then the door banged open again. A new group stormed inside. Sorry, darlings, but your little bonfire is over. A sing-song voice cooed over the sudden shouting and rustle. As if he snapped out of a spell, Markus' eyes shot wide. The next moment, he swiftly rose to his feet, pulling me up with him. I knew it! My girl's got it! Alicia was leaning against the wall nearby, a satisfied smirk curled in her lips. Her gaze was fixed onto the fight happening before us. A small, ragtag group of vampires leaping onto Markus' attackers. I didn't recognize most of the newcomers, but they already seemed to be beating the others into a pulp. You A familiar hooded vampire started to kick the others, who rolled weakly onto the ground under the blows. Get him, Jack! Go on! Ooh, maybe you should test out some of the merchandise on him. How about that big green one? Oh, you're right! Lunging forward, Jack grabbed a giant suction cup with the wall, wielding it like a sword. Then with all his might, he slammed it straight into the vampire's face. Ah! Teeth and blood went flying through the air. Oh my, that's fantastic! Alicia giggled, delighted, clapping her hands together. Try some of the paddles next. Ooh, or those testicle weights. Although, now that I think about it, there's probably not as much there to weigh down. Shame, really. Nailed them. Alicia's threats are testing out the merchandise helped drive the attackers away. Her friends chased them outside, hollering and jeering, one of them even cracking the whip as she grabbed off the shelves. Oh my god, what a badass, I love her. Soon enough, the din had faded into muffled cries, hopefully not enough to attract the police attention. Lucia and Jack, however, stayed with us in the shop. Jack stomped on the small fire and burned on a square carpet, along with the scattered broken fragments of something. Dumb does it smell like shit in here? It does, doesn't it? I wonder if the stench is from the fire or just from those idiots. She waved her hand in front of her nose, letting out a groan. For the whole duration of the fight, Markus had just been standing next to me, watching from the counter. Now his eyes were drifted between Alicia and Jack. I saw a faint warmth slowly returning to his expression. You called her, didn't you, Bella? As the other two extinguished the remaining fire patches, Markus murmured to me quietly. Yeah, but I didn't think she would come, yes, and I knew she'd be here as soon as she heard. I mean, it's not that I didn't think she would come, I didn't know what she was gonna do. Like, I didn't know how she would handle the situation, but she handled herself pretty good. He nodded slowly, his chest rising and falling with a soft sigh. Phew, I think that's all of them, right? Stepping away from a peculiar ruined shelf, Alicia sauntered towards us, her smile slowly turning into a frown. Markus, Bella, you two look like you had a bit of a rough night. Yeah, this guy almost died. Like, what the hell? Hey, Markus. As Jack came to stop by Alicia's side, he tugged his hood down more over his eyes. And, Bella, long time no see. You're the guy from the garage, right? Yeah, I am. Garage? Don't worry about it. He scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. As soon as I got your message, Bella, I rang up my little group and came to the shop as fast as I could. Little Jack here was... So he thought about, to puke up. I thought he was about to puke up some blood on the way over. Because he's such a fanboy of Markus, remember? Jack shuffled onto his boots against the carpet, giving a nonchalant sniff. Thanks for your help, you really saved us. Why were you so worried? You guys were going to attack us again? You knew they were going to attack us again? No, I'm just going to say thanks. We certainly did. You owe me, you poor soul. It does look like they were enjoying themselves, though, so I doubt they'll hold it against you. Are they Bavar too? Some, but not all. My friend's circle is quite diverse, I'll have you know. But those Mavar aren't the same sort of Mavar who attacked Markus. Yeah. Jack grimaced slightly, scratching his cheek beneath his blood. The guys who f***ed you up, they're not part of Randall's normal group. They're part of a new extreme side clan that's trying to stir up a bunch of shit. They like that they're gonna do it from Randall, but he hates that kind of thing. Okay, that makes more sense because I knew that Randall doesn't hate him. He still likes him. He's just pissed off about what he did. It's causing infighting among the Mavar and making the Sakari hate them even more. Complicated mess, really. Even though she was human, Alicia seemed troubled about the vampire chaos, her words ending in a frustrated sigh. That extremist clan is way too big for us to take down, but if you want, we can make sure those guys from tonight don't get up again. Markus wouldn't be silent watching us wholly, abruptly cutting in. Letting them die would be an act of mercy. The cruelest, most sadistic punishment I could devise would be to let them live. Waking up each night and having to be themselves is the most miserable fate of all, even if they're not conscious of it. There was coldness in his voice, quite and uncaring. Is he projecting? Is that how he feels about himself? Yeah, sure, Markus, you're right. Seemed to catch Jack off guard, because he mumbled and scattered a reply before falling silent. Markus didn't add anything further, turning his head away to stare at something else. I just can't believe you didn't see this coming, Markus. Alicia murmured warily, fitting her hem of her dress. After what you pulled at the beach, it seemed a matter of time before you were attacked. He didn't acknowledge Alicia's words. Whatever his glassy stare was fixed on, it was somewhere far away. I swear, sometimes I don't know what to do with you. Alicia let out a long, heavy sigh, though clearly out of loving frustration. You've got to stay somewhere else and save a place than this, until everything blows over at least. Oh, why don't you stay with Bella's hotel? Surely a few days would give you enough time to find something more stable. Or you could try patch things up with Randall. He's probably still angry, but he might know a place for you to stay. Here's the thing, I want her to stay with me, but like Shrez. That's a problem. But can't we just say he was attacked? Because she still needs him, right? Surely Shrez will let him stay for a little while. God knows Markus has done plenty for her sake. Alright, no complaints, Markus? Markus shook his head. He still didn't seem able or willing to offer any comments. Suppose I'll leave you in Bella's capable hands then, hopefully without any repeats of this nasty event on the horizon. Until then, you two had better stay alive or else I'll be downright livid. Shaking her finger at us with a weakly playful smile, Alicia reluctantly turned away. Yeah, you guys, take care of yourself. Offering a small, awkward nod, Jack slipped away towards the door. Alicia followed on his heels. Just before she disappeared behind the shelf, she paused. Please, Markus. With a barely audible murmur, she glanced back towards over her shoulder. There was an honest dark worry in her eyes as they flickered between Markus and me. Don't let them get to you again. With that, she stepped out of the sight, her gentle footsteps fading away. As soon, a shattered door clanged softly shut. We were alone again, with only the sound of distant traffic in the distance. Markus suddenly gazed down towards the remnants of the fire, where his belongings were smashed into the carpet. Oh, what an atrocious mess this is. Muttering flatly, he kicked the broken fragments across the floor. I suppose I'll have to hire some unfortunate soul to clean it up. I could do it if you like. You mean you plan on coming back? What were the things they destroyed? Were they special? You might be better off moving to a new shop. I want to ask about it, but I don't know if he would answer me. Because he seems kind of like off right now. More than usual. Hey, do you want me to do it for you? No, that's quite alright. I prefer to handle my own messes. Picking up his sunglasses from the ground, Markus wiped the blood off of them with his sleeve. Then, with a swift practical motion, he slid them back onto his face. Not waiting for my reply, Markus made his way outside. I followed him, leaving behind the wreckage of the night's attack. After Markus locked up shop, we hailed a cab and headed to the hotel. He bantered with me a little during the ride, quipping that at least they at least hadn't smashed his cat statue with the peacock. But I could tell that he was deeply troubled. Even his normal carefree humor seemed forced, with a pause before every word remark. There was no denying the attack, no matter how expectant it was, had shaken Markus to his very core. As soon as we entered the hotel lobby, everyone instantly stiffened. Shrez had probably given them instructions to keep Markus out, but they seemed to hesitate out of fear or maybe uncertainty. They're gonna tell Shrez later. Oh, never mind, we're here. We found Shrez in the meeting room, talking to her agent. Rising from her seat, she stared evenly at Markus, her eyes cool and detached. Why is he here, Bella? I thought I instructed you to stop associating with him. He's going to stay for a few days. Excuse me, why on earth would he stay here? Oh, just your average eventful evening in Hollywood. His lips stretched thinly into a smile as he gestured casually towards a distant window. A few rowdy Mavar volunteered to stain my carpet a deeper shade of red. Sadly, they painted the stone must have been running low, because they had cracked open my veins for the palette. Shrez was clearly a little shaken by the news, adjusting her glasses as if to mask her reaction. For a moment, she seemed usually small. Her regal presence switched off like light. I cannot allow you to stay. She reluctantly raised her head to gaze at Markus, who watched her in silence. It is likely just as dangerous for you to be here, Markus. Since that incident, your repercussion has reached new heights of infamy among the Isakari. Many see you as an instigator, as more of an instigator. Just as Randall cannot reign in the Mavar, neither can I micromanage all my associates' actions. Some may strike on their own against you. Therefore, you'd be wise to find another place for refuge. Wait, buddy, wait! He can't! He's gonna die! I understand. Markus interjected calmly, nodding her words. Shrez blinked several times, as if she expected Markus to protest more. In that case, I do apologize for taking up your time. Have a pleasant evening, Shrez. Really? Without anything further, he headed towards the door, slipping into the hall. Her gaze remained at the door, conflicted welding in her eyes. Well? What are you standing here for? Shrez finally barked out a few forceful words. Go and make sure he doesn't vandalize anything or cause any more trouble on his way out. The next moment, I found myself shoot after Markus. The door abruptly slammed behind me. No sign of Markus in the lobby. I hurried back out to the streets. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end this episode right here. This is bad. Cause, like, I don't think if we go to Randall's place, I don't think he's gonna harbor us there too. Because it came from his people who attacked him. And like what Shrez said, they can't control all of their people. They're just one person, right? So, damn it. He would probably have to stay at the Golgotha house. That's the only place I could think of that's safe. I don't know. I thought this was going to be a nice episode where we just like go on a date with him, but I guess not. No, he almost died. That's nice. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Riding for His Hollywood, remember to leave a like, let me know in the comments what you think, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for more episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!